This is GTFO. Many people get to know it as a slow and tedious stealth game in which levels can take over 2 hours. Some reviews for this game certainly make it seem that way.
Can't even save the game, and the average game lasts 2-3 hours. The worst part is that each mission takes around 2 hours. It's not uncommon to spend 4+ hours on a level that could probably have been checkpoints or a good experiment to
Whew. With that out of the way, the typical GTFO run is definitely a bit longer than you'd expect compared to other games. But that doesn't mean that it has to overstay its welcome. So here are a few tips that hopefully help you cut down the time that you spend in each of your mission attempts. To start, try to avoid crouching whenever possible. Even if you don't know where enemies are, if you just walk, they won't instantly wake up when you get into their detection range. Once you hear something click or see something glow close enough to you all of a sudden, stop moving. Then, crouch if necessary once they're asleep again and go for the takedown. You do not have to crouch walk towards sleeping enemies. It's way faster and often a good habit to walk at them with intent to kill and with your melee pre-charged. If you do this with your whole team and not just alone, you can easily clear rooms out without needing to slowly inch towards every single enemy. This can come in clutch, especially for giants, where if you get one hit to break a limb, everyone else can safely move towards and behind them, sparing you the time of sneaking behind the giant. The most obvious one is that you always have to do something, be it looting, looking for missing lockers, using the terminal to find a path, objective item, or resources, or simply killing stuff. Even just gathering information about where sleeping enemies are is better than doing nothing. Don't stand around AFK and wait for your friends to do something. Actively playing the game is the easiest way to cut down the time you spend on that one level you really feel stuck on. One thing for using terminals that is often done when you're new to the game is querying every single item to find out where it is, instead of simply listing the zones and specifying what you're searching for. Querying when there's more than 4 or 5 different items you're looking for takes a ton of time. You'll usually be faster and get extra info as well if you simply list the zones in the level. Look at the security doors to figure out which ones they are and just cycle through. Something that you should 100% ingrain for yourself is knowing how to use your tool for alarms. Avoid having to be told on what to do with your tool for every single one of them, and think for yourself. Whether you use it comes with experience, but it's better to place it well rather than not at all or after needing to be told. Some examples for easy and obvious placements are using mines in the door frame if enemies pass through said door, seafoam on these kind of doors so that the enemies can stack up better, or sentries, usually burst or sniper sentry, in a good sideline of where enemies will come through, usually a room entrance. Do not place sentries on the other side of closed doors though. The last big advice is probably quite contrary to what many people might have learned playing this game. Shooting up rooms, or sometimes simply pulling and mining them, is an effective way to not just reduce time spent, but also make the encounter itself easier. A singular mine can kill 20 enemies on a big door easily and avoid potential mistakes in stealth that will eat away HP and then ammo or tool anyway. Ammo is more abundant than people think, and it's not uncommon for a lot of runs to extract with a ton of resources. A good reminder is that it's better to have a good plan to kill a room loud than to blunder and struggle or panic and then use the resources anyway. The best example for this is typically just shooting the scout that's in an uncomfortable position instead of trying to sneak in and likely waking up the room and then also getting the scout wave. Lastly, I'll tell you some smaller but good to know tips and tricks. The first one is what we commonly refer to as Q2 tech. When pressing Q, this opens up the communications menu. If searching for heavy carry objects, such as cells in a zone, press and hold Q2 to figure out if one of your teammates is in such a room, so you don't have to look through all the others. Movement and fall damage is another big one that can really quickly add up over the course of a run. Fall damage specifically is a lot more lenient than people think. Know where you can fall down to save some time, and where you can't without taking damage. You can also jump over things like small railings to cut down time on traveling through the map. This doesn't just make it so you move through the level faster, but can also help you in enemy encounters where the extra time means you could potentially reload or simply reposition. Lastly, I want to quickly talk about alarm scans, on how you can optimize speeding them up without spending too much manpower. Big red scans are the best example for this. They need at least 2 people to go by fast, because if only 1 person is in them, they will take 20 seconds. If it's 2, it will take 8.3 seconds. This only goes down to 6.7 seconds with 4 people, aka the full team. The best example for how you can save time with this is if you have a double big red scan, where you want to split the team into 2 groups of 2 instead of full stacking on one of them. There's also smaller examples, like non-team T-scans, which don't necessarily need the full team and tend to cap out at 1 or 2 players on them and don't speed up after. In the end, I want to say that while the levels in generally should only take you between 30 and 90 minutes to clear, if you're going in blind, they might take a bit longer, and a run above 2 hours won't be that unusual. But if you see your runs go over the 2-hour mark more often than not, then maybe it might be time to play more aggressive and apply some of these tips. Because playing aggressive doesn't just mean that you go faster, it also means that you're able to adapt to these kind of situations, leading you to survive a rough encounter more easily the next time.